So I'm here today with Dr. Linda Pennington to talk about Dynamics 641, the art and science of organizational coaching. So Dr. Pennington, why did you create this course?
Well, I didn't actually create it. It was the original first course in coaching in the Org Dynamics program. And it was taught by the guy who brought coaching to the Org Dynamics program, Dr. William Wilkinski. And actually, it was the first course that I took in the program when I got my MSOD. And I didn't know anything about coaching. I had spent most of my career working in a bank and in a couple of law firms as their managing director. And I knew a lot about business, but when I finally decided I really just didn't want to work anymore in that kind of environment, a business environment, I came to the MSOD program, and my first class was 641, the art and science of organizational coaching, which was always its original title. So what I learned from that class was, a totally different subject. And I came home from the class, which was a night class, and I said to my husband, I know what I'm going to do next now. I'm going to be a coach. And that's a true story. I really went to one class and said, this is it, because he was such a dynamic teacher. And it really was a subject that I could see. I could take my business background and use it to help people with the problems that they had in their organizations and with their development, which was always my favorite part of being a manager, was developing people. But I didn't know about this tool that would help you develop your people until I took 641 many years ago. So that's how the class devised. When Wilkinski retired, there was no 641 for a few years. And a couple of years ago, I said to Alan, the head of our department, we should revive that. I'd like to revive that. And so Amrita and I did revive it. And it is different from the way it was originally taught, because now, of course, we started doing all of the coaching actually on Zoom, long before the situation that has occurred this year. So, so we had live and ordinarily, and then we would do all Zoom coaching in 15 or 20-minute segments. I think it's a course that an appeal to anyone who is working with people.
So it's been re-envisioned, reimagined. Different in some ways from the 641 that you took. So what is it about this course? So what made you want to teach this course? Now, having been through it and those enriching experiences, what drives your passion behind teaching the material?
Well, this particular course I'm passionate about because, as I said, it's important that people know this skill in order to work well with others. Because you can use coaching in a variety of different relationships at work. You can use coaching skills when you're working with peers. You can use it, obviously, with people who report to you. You can also use coaching skills with the people to whom you report. You're not going to say to them, I'm going to coach you now. But there are aspects of how to ask questions in particular and listen in a different way. Those are the two skills of coaching that we teach you. They're the most important skills of coaching. Listening in a very deep way and asking powerful questions. And so when you learn to do that, you can learn to use coaching in a variety of different ways. It's also very good, actually, with individuals that you know. It's an excellent skill to know if you have children, because, and not when they're really young, But when they get to the age where they can argue with you, it's good to be in the position of being their coach instead of being their parent telling them what to do. So a lot of problem solving with children who are, say, 10 or 11 or over can be solved by using coaching questions. So it's a way to diffuse conflict as well as helping people understand what they really want.
It's great, and that builds on a conversation very similar that I had with Amrita about the approach to coaching and how, in almost the same words, she described how it can make you a better parent, a better person, a better spouse, a better coworker, a better colleague. Just through these skills are transferable and applicable across a variety of different situations. And I think, with that, it just becomes more natural, becomes a natural way of doing things. You don't have to think about. So what's something, you talked about the listening skills and being able to ask questions. What's another thing that you hope students take away from the course?
I hope that they take away the fact that everyone is struggling just to get through the day. And that's become even more common now in our current situation. And that coaching can help you understand others. If you have a coaching, non-judgmental perspective toward others. It's very hard to do that, to suspend judgment about others, because when you go into work, you work with people every day and you develop sort of a profile of who they are. And you know what their good points are and you know what their flaws are if you work with people closely. But if you apply a coaching perspective to the people that you work with, and this is both, again, whether they're your subordinates or whether they're your boss or whether they're your coworkers, over time, if you apply this sort of coaching suspension of judgment, you start to see a little bit more of who they are. You start to look at their flaws in a different way. You start to think about why they may act the way they do. Because coaching is a situation where you, as the coach, suspend judgment about others, forget about all your own opinions about certain subjects, and are just there for this person. And when you are in the room just there for this person, it's very different from the way you actually behave on a day-to-day basis. And you can do that with anybody at any time. So sometimes, you can get a totally different perspective on people who you thought maybe you would never understand.
No, it's very insightful. Again, that aligns with that concept of building trust, and in order for that coaching to be successful, the person that you're coaching has to trust you, and you have to trust them, and there's got to be that mutual trust to enable that environment. Thank you so much. This was I really appreciate you sharing all this great information about this course that's now been reimagined as something bigger and better than even it was before. So it's great to see that the legacy of the course continue and continue to adapt with the times and expand. So thank you very much. Again, I'm talking with Dr. Linda Pennington about Dynamics 641, the art and science of organizational coaching.
Thank you, Jack.